Hello everyone and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into the world of US data privacy laws. Look, every single day, we're all online sharing our personal information. But do you actually know what rules are in place to protect that information and what powers you have? Well, let's find out.
So let me just start with a really simple question for you. Do you feel like your data is safe online? I mean, think about it. Every time you visit a website, download an app, or do some online shopping, you're sharing personal information, often without even realizing it.
Every single one of those clicks, every swipe, every like, it all leaves a digital footprint. It's all being recorded. And your personal information, we're talking your name, address, email, phone number, even your credit card details, has basically become the new currency in this digital world.
So the question is, what are companies even doing with all this data? Well, they're using it for their business. Everything from showing you targeted ads to improving their own services.
This data is incredibly valuable. But just imagine for a second, what if it falls into the wrong hands? It could lead to identity theft, financial fraud, or a serious invasion of your privacy. And that, right there, is exactly why laws were created to protect it.
Now, in the USA, data privacy regulation follows a pretty unique system. There isn't one single, comprehensive federal law that covers every industry. Instead, it's more like a patchwork quilt, or you could call it a Jugaad system of different laws pieced together.
It basically boils down to two types of laws. You've got federal laws, which focus on specific sectors like health or finance. And then, on the other hand, you have state laws, which individual states create to protect their own residents. And these tend to be much broader.
All right, let's take a look at some of the most important federal laws. First up is HIPAA. This is the law that protects your medical and health information. You know, at its core, your health is your private business, and this law makes sure it stays that way.
So what this means is, when you go to the doctor or get admitted to a hospital, your health records are protected under HIPAA. No healthcare provider can share your sensitive medical information with anyone without your permission. Simple as that. Next up, we have COPPA. This law protects kids under the age of 13 online. And in today's digital world, this one is so important, right? Let's break down how it works.
According to COPPA, any websites and apps that are aimed at children have to get verifiable permission from parents before they collect any data from kids. This gives parents control to review or even delete their child's information. And now, let's talk about your money. GLBA is a federal law that regulates financial institutions. We're talking your banks, insurance companies, and credit card companies.
This law requires that these companies tell their customers in plain language how their data is being used and that they have strong safeguards in place to protect it. So you can start to see how all these different laws protect different parts of your life.
Now, the federal laws are one thing, but the entire data privacy game was turned on its head when one particular state stepped into the ring, California. They really changed everything.
Back in 2018, California passed the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA. This law went into effect in 2020, and then in 2023, it was made even stronger through the CPRA. This was an absolute game changer for the United States.
Just think about that. One state basically set the rules for the whole country. How? Well, because Silicon Valley is in California. All the big tech companies had to follow CCPA, which created this massive ripple effect across the nation and inspired other states to create their own laws.
So what does all of this mean for you? It's simple. You now have some very real digital rights, or you could even call them your digital superpowers. First up is the right to know. You can find out what data companies are collecting about you. Second, the right to delete. You can ask them to delete your data. Third, the right to opt out. You can stop them from selling your data. Fourth, the right to correct. If any information is wrong, you can get it fixed. And fifth, the right to non-discrimination. A company can't treat you differently for using these rights.
This simple idea is now your power. You can literally tell any company, hey, delete my data, because it's your right. You now have the right to control your own information.
So where do we go from here? The conversation around data privacy in the US is far from over, and there are still some pretty big challenges ahead.
For companies, this whole patchwork of different state laws can be really confusing and really expensive. Trying to follow different rules in every state is a massive compliance challenge.
And these laws are definitely not taken lightly. For instance, in 2019, Google and YouTube had to pay a massive a $170 million fine for violating COPPA. This just shows you that these laws have real power.
It's because of these challenges that a lot of people are now pushing for a single, unified federal privacy law, just so the rules can finally be consistent across the entire country.
So in the end, the question comes back to this. Now you know about your rights. It's your data and it's your control. Are you ready to take it? Always stay aware, read those privacy policies, and use your rights. We'll see you in the next explainer.